Hello and welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Tori and today I have a lot of books to talk about. We're going through my shame pile of books, aka all the books currently on my TBR or my to be read list. There are 5 books I am not including on this list because I am trying to read them before the new year. And I'm very close on all of them too, so I feel confident enough not including them on here. If that bites me later, you'll find out in the comments below. To make this easier, I have broken up all my books into categories of pretty much genre. There is one genre that is more widespread. That is my think piece section. Pretty much today I have thriller / mystery, I have romance, I have horror, I have mythology books, I have think pieces, which covers books that I classify as something that would make me dwell on it a little bit longer. So whether it was something I bought because it's a memoir, it is a topic on something to do with I have a couple about communication and internet. I have poetry books in that pile. That's a very diverse pile and I just put it in there because a lot of those pieces, not that I don't read them for fun, I more read them to grow and evolve as a human. I have romance, I have fantasy sci-fis together, because I'm not really that big into fantasy sci-fi. I'm trying to. There's some aspects I like, some aspects I just don't get yet because I'm not fully in it, so they're merged together. I do have a light novel section, and I do have a manga section, which will most likely be last. And I do have a manhwa or printed webtoon section. It's gonna be a lot. I'm just gonna jump right in with the thrillers / mystery. For these, I don't know if I'm necessarily gonna give synopses because I don't really know. Up first, I have Supermarket. This is by Logic, aka Bobby Hall. I thought this was a memoir. Apparently it's not. So it classified as a thriller mystery on Goodreads. So that's what I'm gonna rock with. Next, I have, this one's Dusty. This is The Woman in the Window by AJ Finn. I'm really excited for this one. I was about to re-buy it the other day because I didn't think I had it. Hence why I'm saying this is a problem. But really want to read this next year, hopefully. I have Local Girl Missing. Someone Knows Where She Is by Claire Douglas. Very excited for this. I have Two Can Keep a Secret from Karen McManus, the author of One of Us is Lying. I really enjoyed One of Us is Lying. I forget if this is technically a sequel or just in that same series, but if this is written like the first one, I will enjoy it a lot. The next 2 are books in a series. First is Private by Kate Bryan, and then I do have Legacy, which is the 6th book in the series. I got this one first from a library sale, and then I ended up finding this one at a different library sale. So eventually I will read them. We'll read the first one and then start hunting down the others. But the last book for this category is Dead in a Week by Andrea Kane. This one, what book? I forget where I got it at. Oh, I did get it at this one. This is technically an advanced reader copy, so this is going to be interesting. I got this at a local-ish, very small local business. So fun. Love that. Next, I'm going to get my mythology books out of the way because there's only 2, but I feel weird throwing them into another category. They both have one thing in common. I have Scottish folk and fairy tales. This is written by Dr. Sarah Dunning. And then I have Scottish folk and fairy tales. Who is this one by? I just realized they're actually edited by the same person. They're both edited by J.K. Jackson. But this foreword is by Alyssa Galbraith. Really funny. One of these I know I got from a Barnes & Nobles, and one of these I got from BAM Books. So that's funny. But I am Scottish, but I don't know much about my Scottish side. Which is a lot considering I have a parent that's Scottish and from Scotland. Born there. First gen. So, yeah, I feel like I just have to do my right to study and know my roots, but I haven't gotten to that yet. I could have technically put these in think pieces, but I just felt weird doing that. Next, we'll do the romance pile. Like I said, the main theme of these is romance. Some of them are more traditional romance. Some of them... There's like 2 where I'm like, I don't know if you're technically a thriller or not, because it didn't say you were on Goodreads, but like, I picked you up assuming you were a thriller. So, starting the pile, I have The Princess Trap by Talia Hilbert. Excited for this one. So excited for this one. Next, I didn't even have this book marked on my Goodreads. Fail. A giant fail. Very much a fail. This is The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I did read everything by this author, and I did hit myself in the face. You did see that correctly. Next, I have Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. I know this one's gonna be on the sadder side, presumably. Fine with that, love that. I'm not afraid of reading stories with darker tones. In fact, it sometimes draws me in if they're done right. Next, in the opposite veins, I kind of have a children's book. Is this young teen? I forget what this classified as. Like young, yeah, ages 8 to 12. We'll see how good it is. This is Undercover Princess by Connie Glenn. Connie used to make YouTube videos as Nudorella. I don't know if they still do. I have not checked up on them in a hot minute. But had this for a hot minute. Would like to read it. Because I'm pretty sure they made like 4 books in the series. So someone had to like it in order to get that long contract. This one. I should have put this one in think piece because I don't think I'm going to generally enjoy it. And It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Considering my background in writing and journalism on a collegiate award-winning level, my pastime and favorite part of all of that was editing a story and polishing it to make it perfect. From the think piece videos I have watched regarding Colleen, not even talking about the controversies involving her and what her son has done, allegedly. I don't know if I'm gonna like it, and I have a feeling I'm going to read it and rip it to shreds. Not physically, but like I'm going to edit it up. And I'm fine with that if I do that. But this one's gonna be interesting. I have to read this next year. Without a doubt, I have to read this next year. Yeah, I'm not like obviously anti-author editing it themselves, but one were to presume that once you make a book and you start getting a lot of money, you would stop editing them yourself and hire an editor because you make enough money to do that. So you don't have common high school level errors in your book if you're a New York Times bestseller. I don't know, I went with that accent, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with this one. Yeah. Next, this one I'm very excited to read. This is Falling for Autumn by Heather Wood. I know this person IRL, so I'm very excited to try this. They have a bunch of different books, all self-published. I think she's also a professor, but yeah, excited to read it. Next, this is the one I wasn't sure if it's a thriller or not. This is Keeping You a Secret. I think, based on what I saw, I think this might be a LGBTQ story, which is why they went with that title. Either way, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna see if I like it. Interesting. This one I've had in my life for a hot minute, since 2017, and I haven't read it yet. This is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. John Green is definitely an author I contribute highly into getting me into reading, so I would like to read pretty much the last work he has put out, because I don't think anything else has been put out recently by him, or maybe I'm wrong. I know his brother made a book like 2 years ago. Next, I have 2 books in a series. I have The Autumn Duchess and The Spring Duchess from Gillian Eaton. I am missing The Summer Duchess. I just read The Winter Duchess and really liked it. So I definitely will be reading these. I forget if this one goes second and this one's fourth and Summer's in the middle. I forget what the order is, but I'm very excited to read them. They were very juicy, very spicy, spice level decent. And they are on the smaller side, which for the price I got them from a local place, so they were like $2 each, so I was fine with that, but not bad. Next, I have Love, List, and Fancy Ships by Sarah Rusin? I'm so bad with last names. I try my best every day. This was one of my best friend's favorite books, so I picked it up. Haven't read it yet. Very excited to read it. My book pile is falling. It's too tall. And then my last romance book I have from Tessa Bailey, Too Beautiful to Break. This is the 4th in a series. So I'm going to have to do my research if I need to actually read the other 3, or if I can read this fine without missing major things. But that is my current romance TBR. I'm gonna get my baby horror section out of the way because it's literally only 2 books, and it's one of those other things whenever certain authors get really controversial and I own the book, sometimes my brain is just like, just read it and then chuck it if I still feel so unsure mentally about the person. So I do have 2 Stephen King books. I got the big one, November 22nd, 1963. I think it's 1963. I have the sleeve. It's just displaced. And then I do have Salem's Lot. Do I know anything about either? No. But I have them. Okay, and then my sci-fi category / fantasy. First thing is a sequel up at the top. This is Melissa Albert's The Night Country. I do not have Hazelwood yet. I think I'm getting it for Christmas. If I don't, then I'll just pick it up when it's on sale. Next, I have another sequel. This is a teen book. This is Crossed by Ali Codeine? That's a drug. Condi? Oh my gosh, I'm so rough today. I subbed as a teacher today, and I feel like you could tell I'm not here. I've been gone. But yeah, this is a sequel. This was a popular teen book from, oh gosh, what year were you published in? Because this was a popular high school book before I was in high school. 2011. Yep, I was in In 2011, I was in 5th grade. Who's gonna cry over that one? But yeah, I picked this up from a library sale, so eventually every time I go, I try to look for the first one, which was Match, or the third one, which is Reach, to complete that collection, because I always wanted to read it growing up, but I never did. Next, I have The Queen's Secret from Melissa de la Cruz. This also, once again, I just be picking up books that I think look good, and it's a sequel. So I do have to get the first one, which is The Queen's Assassin. And once again, I very much like royalty-based stuff, so I'm not disappointed. Next, this one was definitely out of my comfort zone when I picked it up, so we'll see. This is Kritora by Nellie Cab. Yeah, pretty much she's being haunted by a creature in her dreams. So that one's gonna be interesting. Next, I'm very excited to read this. I've been patiently trying to get through my TBR because I know this is gonna be a book on my list to read next year. This is Iron Widow from, oh my god, I'm gonna go learn how to pronounce her name because I'm shocked I don't know how to pronounce her name. Iron Widow by Xian Xiao. I pronounce it. I gotta work on it. I have a hard time pronouncing stuff in Mandarin. But either way, her sequel is coming out. I'm pretty sure either her sequel is coming out or the new book is coming out that she's been working on. That was half the books falling on the floor. Very excited to read it. Really want to read it. I love history retellings that are twisted, and I'm just very excited that she's done it with Eastern mythology that's not typically done. So, love that. Okay, and then my last sci-fi before we get into the think pieces is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. Very excited for this one. Very happy I found this one. Starting our think pieces is the book that I was trying to read, but I just haven't had the time to it, so I haven't read it yet. Is Twitter and Tear Gas, The Power and Fragility of Networked Protest. That's what I mean. Some of them are legit think pieces. Like, this is something you would research. And that's the way I like it. Next, I have All the Light We Cannot See It by Anthony Doerr. I think this is a memoir. I can't remember for some of them. A couple of them I was shocked. Unironically, I have The Shock Doctrine, The Rise of Disaster of Capitalism by Naomi Keele. Interesting. Next, I have Victorian People and Ideas by Richard Altick. I learned a lot about Victorian era in college, and then I debated about making a book during this time, so this was just one of the pieces that I picked up where it's like, if I want to write about the Victorian era, I need to know more than what I know, because I know I don't know that much. So that's what I mean. Think pieces. Think pieces also include classical, so The Adventure of Huckleberry Finn. I skimmed this and spark noted it and wrote an essay on it in high school. And then realized that because I didn't actually read it and just spark noted it, there was a whole bunch of stuff that I missed that I would have commented on. So this has been on my list to read ever since, and I just haven't read it. Next, I have The Help to Read by Catherine Sackett. Never got to read this one. This wasn't one of my required readings in school, which was surprising. New Jersey's required reading tends to be very diverse in what we have to read. But obviously some teachers pick and choose what they want to read, and the teachers I had did not read that. I wonder why. So it's more about them. Next, I also have The Catcher in the Rye, something I also did not read in high school that I was shocked I was not required to read. This, Alice and Oliver, I thought for the longest time was a romance novel. It's actually a memoir. So, intrigued. More intrigued. Next, I have Shout from Laurie Anderson. Excited to read this. I've had that on my list for a while. I do have War and Peace. When will I read it? I don't know. But I would like to read it eventually. Next memoir I have is Crying in H Mart by Michelle. Why did I merge that? Michelle Zauner. I'm very excited to read this. I've heard really good things about this. This I need to read because I got recommended this book like 5 years ago now. This is What Made Maddie Run. I sadly love darker stories where like for example, the secret struggles and tragic death of an all-American teen. And this is real. But you learn a lot from stories like that. Next, I have a poetry book, You Only Love Me When I'm Suffering, from John Lupin. Next, this one I also didn't know was a memoir, but that makes me more excited that this is a memoir. This is These Ghosts Are Family by Macy Card. Very excited for that one. I think that one's also definitely going on my list for next year, because I gotta start making my list of what books I'm gonna read. I have House Arrest by K.A. Colt. This is the poetry book. This one, for some reason, I thought was more memoir-y, but it turns out it's technically a poetry book. Another classical, Communist Manifesto. I don't know what to tell you. Next, I have Hidden Girl, A True Story of a Modern-Day Child Slave by Shaima Hall. I'm very excited to read this. Next, I have another classic. This is Speak by Laurie Anderson. So I have Speak and I have Shout. So I think Speak came out first. Yeah. I think this came out in 1999. Came out the year I was born. When did Shout come out? Shout came out in 2019. Oh my god. Comparing books 20 years apart, that's going to be cool. And then the last think piece I have is Confessions of an Economic Hitman by John Perkins. I forget where I got recommended this book, but I was like, you know what? Sure. Yep, I'll read it. So now, the fun stuff. Not that this stuff isn't fun, but I really enjoy these next sections. We are starting with the manga first. I'm going to try to go in alphabetical order. If it's not perfect, please do not shoot me, please. Starting with A, I have Ascendant of a Bookworm. Oh my gosh. So I have Volume 1, Part 1. Volume... How do they do these again? Wait. Yeah. Volume 1, Part 1. Volume 2, Part 1. And Volume 3, Part 1. So. I know I'm missing some, but how they do it, honestly, is a wee bit confusing. So. Next, I have a couple from Fairy Tail. So I have Fairy Tail Volume 2. Fairy Tail Volume 3. And then I have Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest Volume 1. I probably will eventually get these as box sets. I don't know. I've tried to limit which series I get the most from, and you will see which series I'm definitely continuing to collect. Because as much as I love reading these, I read these really quick. Where, unless it's on sale, I don't think it's worth the price. Next, I have Kyaku Bed and Breakfast for Spirits. I have Volume 1, Volume 3, and Volume 4. I cannot find Volume 2 anywhere I go. It gets on my last nerve. Next, I have Kami-sama Kiss. So I have volume 2 and volume 3. Once again, these are ones I have to find online or on sale, or if someone's selling their old collection, because they started to reprint them but haven't fully reprinted them. It is a pain. Next, I have My Next Life as a Villainess. All Routes Lead to Doom. I have volume 1. Yeah. I have volume 2 and volume 3. Next, I have Iran Host Club. Iran High School Host Club. I have volume 4, volume 5, and volume 6. Especially with the ones like these where you only see 4 to 6, that means I've already read 1, 2, and 3, and I have them in the lower parts of my shelves. We are ignoring how that part looks for now. Please don't stare at it too hard, okay? Next, Sailor Moon. So, I have officially decided I'm collecting the bigger books because they reprinted everything. I think these are technically the remastered versions. So this is Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, Volume 6, Volume 7. This collection goes up to 11, but I'm not there yet. I only have up to 7. I do one other thing from Sailor Moon. I have Codename Sailor V Volume 2. I only have the second volume because I found this on sale for like $5. So Waiting to Forever find Volume 1. Or actually, no, I found this from a... No, this wasn't a Five Below find. I forget where I found this one, but it's extremely discounted. Now, my puppy. I gotta show you guys my baby, the collection I've really been trying to collect. I know I have more from this series coming in for Christmas. So, this is Snow White with the red hair, my favorite anime that got discontinued after one season because My Hero Academia exists. Love My Hero, but you could have kept my romance anime. Anyway, I have Volume 6, Volume 7, Volume 8, Volume 9, Volume 10, Volume 11, Volume 12, Volume 14, I am missing 13, Volume 15, and Volume 16. I love this series with my whole heart. This is definitely a series I'm going to try to complete because I need to consume all of it, but I've been trying to stop myself. Next, I have Soul Eater. So I have Soul Eater 1, Soul Eater 2, Soul Eater 3. Same thing is happening with these that's happening with Kami-sama Kiss and Iran Host Club, where they are slowly being reprinted because people are still buying them, and more people after Rona have been wanting them, but they are reprinting them very, very slow. So I've been kind of just stuck waiting. And then I have Yona of the Dawn. This one's Volume 4. I've already read Volume 1. Been waiting for 2 and 3. So I've just... When it comes to this collection, I forget if Yona of the Dawn is actually finished. I don't think it's finished. But I know the author does take breaks, as they should. So I think it's like on 40? Volume 40 or something like that. So it's still being printed, but the older ones now are very hard to find. So I have to do some investigating and looking for them. But that is my current anime, manga collection. Anime, oh my god. We have 2 sections left, so I'm going to do the smallest one first. And that is my manhwa, or my printed webtoons. So first up the bat, I have The Villainous Turns the Hourglass. These are very expensive. These are literally 20 bucks a piece. So anytime I see them discounted, I grab them. So I got this one off of Pongo Books. Someone was getting rid of it. So very happy for that. In similar vein, this one was selling at Ollie's for $3.99 or $2.99. So I have The Cursed Princess Club by Lambcat. Never heard of it. Seems up my alley. I'm very excited to try it. Try it and read it. And now my light novels. The category that honestly my collection could just be all these, but then I would read them way too much and buy too many of them because some of these books are so well written and so my speed that I read them in one day. Don't know how I make it work, but I make it work because I just love them that much. So my first book in my pile is The Villainous and Villain Met and Fell in Love. This is volume 2. I'm really happy I found volume 2. A lot of these in my local Barnes & Nobles do not get restocked that often. Or if they do, they go right off the shelves. So it's been very hard to find continuations of series. Next, this one I got because it was on clearance because they had too many of them. So I got this for like $3. This is She Professed Herself Pupil of the Wise Man. Written by Rusen Hirotusugu. Hopefully I didn't butcher that too bad. But decided to try it. Once again, if I don't like a book, I tend to put it on my Pongo. So if I don't like it, I just have it for someone else to read it. And then if it doesn't sell on my Pongo, I go and donate it after a year. Next, I have The Tear Moon Empire by Nozomu Moshitsuki. Really like this anime. Really want to read it. All the ones like these that are really good, or if they're adapted as an anime and I can tell I really enjoy it, I will go around and pick up the book. This is My Happy Marriage by Azuki. Oh my god. Akumi. Right? Akumi. Agitoki. Very excited to read this. I gotta read it before January, so hopefully that'll be one of my first books done for 2025. Next, I have Raven of the Inner Palace, novel 1. I'm very, very excited to read this. I watched it, really enjoyed it. I want more details. I want to know everything, okay? Next, I have The Seventh Time Loop. The Villainess Enjoys a Carefree Life Married to Her Worst Enemy. I have volume 3 and volume 4. Really love this series. Once again, another series that got turned into an anime adaptation that I really enjoy. So I'm currently reading volume 2, almost done it. Hopefully we'll be done it by the end of this year. So very excited to keep reading them. But yeah, that is currently my 96 plus books on my TBR. So I have a lot I want to read. I think I am going to up my reading goal for next year so I can cut back on some of the manga. Because the manga I can read in one day. It's very easy to read. But I just have to encourage myself to read it. So yeah, that is my current TBR. It's a lot. It's very overwhelming. I'm sweating and very, very tired. So thank you so much if you watched this long video and dealt with me. I hope you have an amazing day or night whenever you're watching this. Peace out, Girl Scout.